Hello, it's Pastor Dave, and I thought it was time for a nice little rocking chair chat with you. Now, the whole point of this chat is just to talk about, well, really whatever. It's a way of having interaction since we're not together Sunday morning. Now, what I want to talk about today is what we're going to do moving forward. Now, we saw this past Friday that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. 24 counties in Pennsylvania will be moving to yellow phase, and one of those is actually the county in which my wife's church is located. So we've actually started talking about what it would look like to have to come back, and how do we deal with the limitations that are imposed. Now, in your newsletter that you received, hopefully earlier this week, I have kind of the reopening plan for the East Salem Otterbein charge. Now, this will come about once Juniata County is moved onto the yellow phase. Now, already I'm going to start trying to transition us back into the day-to-day, week-to-week type of activity. And you're going to see that starting Sunday, where starting last week we started transitioning back to more normal worship with having Elaine back on the piano. Well, this week you're going to get more of the scripture. It's going to be more like the regular order of worship that we are used to. And that's part of getting us back into the flow and the mindset of how we do worship. So it will be a little longer, but it'll be more like what we've had before. Now, once we get into that yellow phase, things will start to change. That's when things will seem more like they were over 2 months ago. The first is that we will go back to our normal worship times. East Salem will worship at 8:45, Otterbein at 10:15. Now, at East Salem, we will live stream that service. And if you have been watching the live streams, I want you to continue to watch the live streams at home. At least as of now, under the yellow phase, we are limited to 25 people. So I would really ask that those who do not have regular internet access or could not stream the services, that they have the priority to come and worship in person. Now, those who come, yes, we will be socially distancing. We will be having hand sanitizer and masks and all that other fun stuff, whatever we need to do to stay safe while worshiping. So that service will be live streamed for everybody. Now, for Otterbein, that's a little bit of a different case. While East Salem averages somewhere between 75 and 85 on any given Sunday, Otterbein's average is typically under 25. So Otterbein will be able to go back to in-person worship with the understanding that we have to keep it under 25 total and spread out as best we can in that smaller sanctuary. At the same time, if you do not feel comfortable coming back to worship in person, watch the 8:45 live stream from East Salem. Now, also, when we get back together, when we start worshiping in person again, we will be taking offerings and doing collections. We'll be working with the financial secretaries of both churches to make sure that is taken care of. So at this point, if you have offerings that you've been holding on to and you want to get them in, you can send them into the church office. Or if you have access to either church, you can put them in the offering plate. I prefer you just send it to the office, however. And at the same time, when we get into yellow, we will resume normal office operations because we're going to be kind of back to normal. And with that, I also want the committees to start meeting again. If your committee meeting has been canceled, we need to reschedule that. If you have committee meetings already scheduled, we should be having those. Now, I would request that you do them in the East Salem Fellowship Hall where we can truly spread out and social distance easier than in the OAC. But that's up to the committee chairs. But we need to get back to having those meetings and performing those administrative functions of the church. At the same time, when we get to yellow phase, the Mark Bible study will resume. I still want to get this Bible study done. Ideally, at this point, I would like to get it done before July. I hope that's going to be possible, because eventually I'd like to take some vacation. But we will get back to that. We'll do that Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. at the East Salem Fellowship Hall. Choir, you're off for the summer. Enjoy. It's hard to social distance and sing. Now, one thing that is not going to immediately come back is Sunday school. When you look at most of the classrooms, and I hate to say it, especially when we're dealing with the children of the church, it's hard to maintain social distancing as it should be done. So Sunday school will probably be one of the last things to come back, but I would expect that would come back in the green phase or shortly thereafter. Now, the first time the church can fully open, which will be in the yellow phase for Otterbein, will be in green phase for the East Salem Church, that Sunday will be a communion Sunday, regardless of what Sunday it is. If it's the last Sunday of the month, we're doing communion, and then we'll just do it again the next Sunday. But that will be the first thing we will do, is a service of celebration and communion. Now, moving forward, there are still going to be changes from this. This has given us a unique opportunity. Some of what's happened were things that I've thought about and others have talked about doing. And some things are going to need to continue. I mean, for one, the live streaming of the services will need to continue. And it's not that we necessarily expect that this is going to come back. But when we've been live streaming services, our services have gone beyond our walls. There are people from other churches, people that have moved away, and I'm not entirely sure who else, even close by, have been able to watch our services. That's helping to spread the gospel in a way we were not doing it before, and it's something we need to continue. It's going to be a little touch and go on how we do it, and we're going to have to make some changes to how East Salem worships on Sunday morning. But that gives us an opportunity to allow people who are at home or unable to come to church to worship. And unfortunately for me, it means anytime we do cancel because of weather, now I'm going to be stuck doing a church service because now you know that I know how to do this. So live streaming is going to be something. The worship committee is going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to talk to the worship leaders about how we're going to do things going forward, especially music-wise. We're going to need to really talk about how we're going to do that. But it is something that should continue moving forward, especially now that we have the equipment to do it. Although we'll figure out what happened this past Sunday with the live stream. I heard that got kind of wonky. Something else that's probably going to continue is some form of online Bible study. We will still have in-person Bible study this fall. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do for that. But we're going to also put it online, because I fully understand that not everyone can be at the church at a certain time every single week. And I know if I were not the pastor and I was not the one teaching Bible study, 7:30 Wednesday nights tends to be the time I'm trying to put my kids to bed. So the idea of coming to church for a Bible study probably wouldn't happen. And I know others may be in that same place. So I'm going to figure out how to actually do a Bible study online. Do it better than how I did with the Amos Bible study. I threw that one together very quickly just so something was out there. But we're going to try to find a way that isn't making people be at a certain place or even at a certain time, but give them the opportunity to still participate in some form of study in some way. We'll work on it. I have a few thoughts on how that's going to happen. Now, that being said, the Amos Bible study is now over. The last video went live last Wednesday night. I would love feedback from people on how they thought it went or what I could do better, especially if I'm going to do it again. But also knowing that we're not back yet in full worship, we can't do Bible study yet, and also it's going to be a while until we can do Sunday school. I have a few thoughts on things that I can put out to you just to give you something else to look at or to dwell on and to help continue your growth as a disciple of Jesus Christ. And I will put that together in the next couple days. We're not probably going to have one this week, but I'll probably go live next week, and I'll probably have it go through the end of May, because at that point it's summer and schools are now off and people go away, but we're going to have fun with that. Mainly because at this point, we're going to keep trying to do new things. I applaud those that are looking to see how to do the senior meal this month and do it in such a way that doesn't put the seniors at risk or our own people, and the ingenuity that's coming with that. But we're doing a lot of different things that I'll be honest, I was pretty sure we were going to be doing some of this stuff moving forward. I didn't think it was going to be in April, May, and June. I thought it was going to be towards maybe this fall or into 2021, 2022. So I thank all of you for your dedication during this time. The number of people that have followed the Worship on live streams have been very good. From the talks I've had with some of you, I appreciate how dedicated you are and how much you're also looking forward to coming back. But we will be back. I kind of hope we have donuts when we come back, because at this point, let's be honest, we've missed 2 donut Sundays already, and we got a third one coming, and I want my donut. But we are still the church. We are still doing good work. And before long, we will be back together, and we're still going to be doing our mission here in East Salem, making disciples for Jesus Christ. Only now, we have all new ways of doing it. So until we're together again, or I make another one of these, take care, and I'll see you on Sunday.